Problem.
It's been a while putting this together, but I would like to say finally that I do have you in the house. I have Jesse James Scott III in the house with Third and Ninth Records. It's an absolute pleasure to finally meet you, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a pleasure to be here. And I thank you, man. I see all the work that you're doing and connecting with everybody, and especially to be overseas and tapping into, you know, what we're doing here in New York and across the water is a big thing. So I appreciate you. I've been watching all the work and artists you've been linking up with. So I really dig that. I feel that vibe for sure.
You're more than welcome. I do kind of find myself cherry picking something that speaks to me. Music, as for yourself, music is visceral.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So it needs to be like, grab me and pull my hat off and drag me to the floor, and it needs to do that to me. But you guys have something special. Where did this begin?
Oh man, this to put it in a nutshell, it began out of the basement in Rochelle, out of Marv's basement. You know, we bumped into each other through music. I was freestyling with a bunch of people that I met through work at Modell's when I was a lot younger, and through acquaintances, whom happened to be his cousin, you know, Forrest, our best friend, Darren. He connected me and Marv and said, you know, I really like the
violin, Marv, the violin player guy, yeah? Cool.
Nah, Marv wasn't really playing violin. He was really focused on producing. So I met him at that time when he was building his production craft and diving heavy into that and basically building his brand and his name. The violin came down the line, which is phenomenal. He's always been in tune with it, but that wasn't something he was doing when I first initially met him. So it started from that meetup through Darren. Like I said, his cousin, one of my best friends. And from there, it was history. After I met him and we connected on a mental level, I damn near started living at his house. I was at his house every day. Learning his
you know when you know.
Yes, that's a fact. I
know when you know.
Once I connected with him, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's serious. And then Lynn, you know, Lynn Lama, that everybody knows him by, that's his brother. Yeah. So that was like a plus, like a major plus, you know, meeting Marvin and meeting his brother. Once we connected, that was it. We was on the same mindset for the most part, that we wanted to put something out into this world and manifest, you know, a great business and opportunity for ourselves.
I have to say that I have not stopped, and this has been rare. I have not stopped talking about yourself and Len in particular, because even though you've got this collective, you've got this individual entrepreneur thing going on, haven't you, really?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. It took time.
And that's something that are you able to keep? Are you able to keep? Yeah, likewise. Are you able to keep the music separate? For example, I Lama and Len Lama clothing. That's his, I presume.
Yeah, for sure.
Your wonderful Gawdly gear label is just. I'm going. You know what I've decided to do? I'm going to start saying to people, if you've got merchandise, you send me a T-shirt for merchandise for the interview. That way, then I can walk around in London.
And yeah, I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do that anyway. I'm gonna make sure I get something to you, because that'll be dope.
Because it's just something that, again, in the UK, nobody markets themselves correctly. Nobody.
No, you really.
And it's a real shame. And I bang this drum because although I've been missing for a few years, I've been interviewing now for 10 years. The girl that I had on last night, she's come full circle with regards to being an LA rapper, and now she's a novelist.
That's dope. Okay.
And she was the very first person that I ever interviewed.
That's what's up.
So she was like number 300. She came back round at the end when I finished. Number 300, done and dusted. And then I decided a few months ago, it's time to stop writing. It's time to start going digital. And I started hunting, and I've hunted and I've looked and I've stumbled upon, and I may well get stuck in New Rochelle for about the next year.
We got a lot happening here. Yeah, you're gonna find some things. Trust me, you're gonna find a lot of topics for people.
Because there seems to be this eclectic, from yourself, from Marv, from Boogie. Then you've
Yeah.
got Max, you've got
Yeah.
Holloway. It's
Yeah.
all very, very different, but all interconnected and woven, and you may as well all live in a big house together.
I wish we did, man. That'd be good. Then that'd be an industry head knocker right there. You put us all in the same location with access to stuff like that. Whew, I don't think they got a chance, because there's a lot of creatives in the Rochelle. It's always been like that. I just think it took time.
Shadow.
Yeah, for everyone to develop into themselves and, you know, become their own artists and find their own niche. For a while, New Rochelle was just kind of like it was like the best kept secret. I feel like, you know, the Bronx was always popping. Mount Vernon had its own little buzz, even Yonkers. You know, for a while, like New Rochelle was just known for, I'm gonna say it's sports and academics. You know, everybody was the schools. That's where everybody knew us from. But once we got out of New Rochelle High School, even in that time period while we were there, we were turning the gears, slowly becoming who we are today. So,
and we've always on your side for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the light has shifted onto us at the proper time, on the proper people, because there's a lot that could have represented New Rochelle in a different way. But for all of the people who are playing the face of what we're doing right now out of Westchester, it's phenomenal. From, you know, like you said, from myself to Lynn to Boogie to Hollow to Max, and the list goes on. And it's continuing to turn out more and more as the years go by. You see more people coming out of New Rochelle or Westchester and representing it with a pride, you know, because everybody wanted to be that tough artist from, you know, the inner city and stuff like that. But not anymore, man.
Have you got to a point, if you don't mind me asking, have you got to a point now where the music and the merchandise is enabling you now to focus solely on music?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I'm very thankful, grateful, and blessed for the position and opportunity I created for myself, especially during the pandemic, that I'm able to make money off of my merchandise and streams and selling beats and doing photography and videography. But it costs to run business. You know, I got to still pick up a job to double up on capital, because I do have my own merch and I'm trying to expand it and I want to own more things. So I just need more capital to invest. But if I took, you know, some investors or more time into what I'm doing right now, I could definitely turn it into a full gig and not have to work a clock in a 9 to 5.
I will happily sell your merch in the UK for you. Happily.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I will do that.
Thing that you need to do that.
I will do it as a I just like, when I find something that I like, it's not because I want to just listen to music. I actually feel there has to be a connection for me. There has to be. And my relationship with you in particular and Len has blossomed to the point where I actually feel like once this interview is over, I'm not going to go next.
I appreciate you, God. That's love. Yeah.
And that'll be that. I feel that I'm quite happy for on my video to be able to advertise Gawdly gear, to be able to advertise Glen Lima clothing.
Man.
We spoke very briefly a few weeks ago and said that if we can't help each other,
we can't help each other. We're not doing anything right, man.
No, nothing.
We're not doing anything.
What are you currently working on music-wise? What's your next move?
My next move, I'm gathering up a bunch of singles. I've put out projects, but what I'm focused on right now is just not holding on to anything. I've had a lot of music that I've tucked away in reserve, trying to put it together for a collective project. But for this year, I just want to do a full release, a full cleanse, a full wash over.
Will you get that done?
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Before the year's out.
Not before this year is out. I'm gonna take whatever I have as a remainder and roll it into this 2022, because it's gonna be a very, very big chapter for me, musically, business-wise, and just individually. Like, this is a whole
great to hear success story. I love it.
And I'm fucking ready for it. I'm excited.
You should be.
Long time.
Everything I see from you, you seem to be this live performer that wants to like. You like being you. You like being Gawdly. You like being the person that you are, and all eyes on me. You have to.
I own it. It took a while for me to jump into that space. I was a little reserved for a while. I've always been a pretty, loud, noticeable person in the room, but it took a while. It took a while for me to own that and really realize, like, this is who I am. I have
Yes.
no problem. A lot of people resonate with it. People resonate more with me being, 100% on the table, color outside the lines, than trying to curate and narrate this pristine image of what looks cool.
So this is you.
Yeah, I'm a cool guy on my
This
own.
is you.
Goofy.
This walking to work in the morning, to the gym in the
Yeah.
morning, with the camera on. I look forward to that, by the way. That's like
Thank
my
you.
wake me up. Wake up.
And in reference to that, I've learned to utilize my social media and my platforms differently. Like the things that I'm putting out now and the content that I'm releasing now, I wouldn't even have considered or contemplated years ago, just because I was so focused on trying to appease to the public's perspective, opposed to just saying, let them take it however I give it. And now I'm just using these platforms as a basis to show you who I am, no holds barred. Like I have good days, I have shitty days, I still work, I walk, I drive, I have, phenomenal days where I feel famous, and there's days where I feel like nobody can see me. But I want to share all of that with people because it's a part of the brand, it's a part of who I am, and I don't want there to be this crazy split and contrast of this is what I put out and then this is what you find out.
Oh, what a great concept. Well done.
Everything.
I like that notion.
Yeah.
Video, it's almost a video diary as such.
Yeah, I want to document my
Your
life. I
life.
want to document my success. I want to document my journey. So instead of, having these nostalgic talks with people, there's content that you can see and look over the years of the timeline. Like, no, I was doing this every day, in and out, whether it be music, whether it be fitness, merch, or just being me on a regular Tuesday. Like,
yeah,
it
has to be. I think it's something that's a novel idea. I say, because I apologize to, for example, to Holloway, because I said you will find me like snooping, sniffing around your social media. Don't take it the wrong way. It's just me being me. I need to know who you are, what makes you tick. So next time when we talk, we're not sitting here with an uncomfortable silence. You've got something that I want to say to you, and it's something I want to listen to. And I've taken my time to listen to what you say in the morning, to listen to how the different persona, and it's the same one in the evening time when you actually just jump into a freestyle, or be it an organized event in a pub or a club. Pub, bar. Sorry, you got it bar. Yeah, in a bar.
But I understand all the lingo. Believe it or not, I meant to tell you this. My mom's from London. She's from West Wickham in Kent. So so I got family out there. I got a lot of family out there. So we're gonna link up for sure, one way or another. I'm gonna be touching my feet across the water very soon, man.
Have you any plan? I mean, family-wise, your family over here, are they familiar? Are they on board with what you do?
Yeah, I've got a lot of family moving in and out right now. Like I said, I know most of my family is from West Wickham and Kent. I don't know exactly where they're staying right at this moment, but I've got aunts, cousins, uncles. My grandfather, God rest his soul, he lived out there. Tons and tons of family that I'm just finding out about.
Be a blessing.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Just tons of family that I wasn't even aware of at the time that live out there. Tons of, like I said, cousins, aunts. My mom has extended relatives out there. So I just been waiting for her to get herself together with a passport, so I can get up out of here.
Get it done. I mean, it's quite, especially over here, you'll find yourself being able to actually go on open mic nights quite easily. And if you blow the roof off the place, there'll be people queuing up to want to hear you again and again and again, and to buy your music. They're avid over here. They love their hip hop. And excuse me, beg your pardon. As much as I'm going to shoot myself in the leg here, I don't listen to UK hip hop.
Really?
I just don't feel it.
Okay.
I mean, maybe that's just my age. I mean, I'm old as dirt, but
Yeah. Cousin who lives in London, he tells me from years ago, even when he used to visit here, and I showed him my music and everything, he kind of relayed the same message. He said, they would eat this up back home. Like they love this type of content. They're very, very into our version of hip hop, and they consume it heavily. Even him, being from there and being born and raised, he would come visit me showing me New York artists. And I'm like, yeah, I know who this is. I know 50 Cent. I know all these people. Like, I was listening to this on the way to school. And he's like, yo, this is what we search for out there. Even though we have our own home base of music, we really, really search for that New York American hip hop.
100%. I was very much so West Coast, East Coast. And there wasn't for me personally, there wasn't very much choice in between. But via my interviewing, I've literally done every single state. I've made sure I found somebody who does something from DC to Connecticut to Cleveland to wherever. But yeah, there's quite nothing like the West Coast and the East Coast music. For me, really, it's hip hop on the East Coast and it's rap on the West Coast. There's a distinct difference. That breakbeat. That breakbeat in New York is just something to be revered. It's lovely. My coolest moment ever, and it's just a trainer. You know the brand And One?
Yeah.
So on my Instagram, Cool Herc went onto my picture of my trainer and went, cool. That's it. That's all he wrote. Just cool.
That was it. You know, that put you on the mountaintop. Like, cool. Yeah, hype too. I would have been the same way. I would have been touching the sky for that.
I was absolutely like running, and people were like,
"What?
What?"
Like,
I was
no,
like, "You don't get it. It's moldy. The shoe has gone moldy. Literally, it's in a box on its own. The other one's gone, but that particular shoe is just fucked." I kid you not. If I had the balls, I'd get it out and go look, but it's like green shit. So.
I feel you on that.
Oh. And I used to think to myself, I wish I would have been born in a different era with regards to, or that I wish that my friends had the same passion for music that I have, because they haven't got it. They haven't got how I feel about it. They might say, "Seen your latest interview, G." Yeah, well done, Raf. But it never goes very much further than that.
It's a different world for us, man. It's a different world for us. You have to be like, you have to have a passion for it. You have to love it. It's hard to catch on to, or like something to become a hobby and then you dive into it. It's something you either like you said, you fall in love and it grabs you, it pulls you in from the moment you see it, hear it, feel it, whatever the case is. It's the same thing with me. Like, once I got into the hip hop world and started diving into these art, there was nothing that could pull me away from it. Every moment, like listening to new rap, asking people what their favorite artist was, trying to discover new things like that, learning new things about music. So I feel you, man.
In New York in particular, when 50 Cent released Get Rich Die Trying, all the hidden little innuendos behind that were embedded within that album. And I was lucky enough to interview Smurf.
Okay, that would have been dope.
So I got a little bit of an inside scoop why Smurf did what Smurf did. And just before he got jailed and then kicked out and off to Grenada or wherever he is now, to Trinidad, back in Trinidad. So all I really wanted, I wanted this tiny piece of history I could just look back upon and think, okay, I did that and that's fine by me. But I believe that still with the so-called independent artists, this is the music they should be listening to. Yeah, I think what we're getting right now is something very, very, very watered down, and
completely agree.
I'm not knocking them. You know, the question I was going to ask you. So, the opportunity arises for you to go against what you actually believe in musically, but it makes you your $1 million. What do you do?
To be honest with you, at this point, everybody's gonna say, like, you know, of course they're gonna take the money. You know, everybody wants money. I mean, once you get into this game and you realize that the money will only take you but so far, you have to have a love, a passion, a talent for it, and a direction of where you want to go. It's not really a number anybody could put on it. You know, if I was down and out and struggled, you know, of course money looks good, but for me right now, it's like, it'd be hard for somebody to come and put a number on what I'm doing right now. You know, I know my value very well.
Well
so
said.
yeah, it would be, I commend, and I really wish the person, whoever has the ability to luck, because what I have right now, one, is worth way more than I believe anybody would put on the table to initially start with. I'm always going to aim higher for that. And I don't think I'm going to allow myself to get in a position where I'll be financially dictated like that. You know,
What a
I'm
refreshing way to look at it.
yeah, you know,
I'm fed up with. I'm not going to say names. If I ain't a young Shannon, then what did you call that? And you got all this around their neck. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just looking at it, thinking, "Damn, you know, for God's sake." And I look at it again. It's longevity.
Yeah, longevity,
and mileage, and story to tell,
yeah.
And they just don't seem like they have this story to tell that's believable, that I want to hear. That I'm not going to walk away and think, "Yeah, you just made that up."
No, of course. Now it's turned into a quick check, man. Everyone sees everyone, and especially coming from, you know, Black and brown community, it's always been projected as it's a quick fix. It's a quick way out. Yeah. You know, you learn to play a sport, get millions of dollars, and your whole life changes. With the introduction of the internet and social media, it's made it extremely accessible. So it's almost like people feel like it's a lottery ticket. They know they don't have to be good. They know they don't have to care. They know they don't have to be popular. They just have to hit the mark that one time to get that check that will alter their financial situation. It won't change their ability to make more good music. It won't change them to develop them into a better artist. So everyone sees the quick check. It's like the same thing with stocks and crypto and NFT right now. Everyone's getting into it because they know I have a phone, I have a computer that allows me access to this quick money. That's kind of all they see. And then they play the part based off of what everyone else is
doing. So they're playing the short game, not the long game.
Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's become watered down, oversaturated, because so many people have access to the fountain at this point. So
I'm astounded. I'm astounded at what's actually making it global. You know, where you wake up in the morning and that tracks on again. I'm also astounded that the content, especially in the UK, in the content, even on a breakfast show, you're now allowed to say brown as heroin, white as crack cocaine, and they got no qualms in saying no days off. I'm a shotter, I sling, white, dark, and I'm like, wow.
Everything.
If I said that, I'd go to jail. I'd go to prison, I really would. The police would be watching me and going, "Are you selling drugs again?" I'm going, no, not anymore.
Just having a conversation. That's all. I'm not implementing.
Conspiracy charge.
Exactly. There we go. Quick, don't wrap it up, man. Don't run it up on me. I'm just chatting.
All that money in their hand. Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh no.
I'm telling you, man, and most of them, it's all they're just playing the game. They're just playing the game, trying to look at the person on top. So
it's fake. The money's fake in their hand. It has to be fake. There's no way that kids like that are walking around with 20 million large on them, are they really? Not a chance.
And this goes back to the statement that we made earlier. This is another reason why I like to document my situation, opposed to trying to emulate or entertain, because that can backfire on you very quickly. You know, the moment somebody realizes these people don't have what they claim to have, or they can't upkeep the image, you fall an immense amount of distance, and they can't recover, because they're not business people. They're money hungry, and they're seeking the quick check.
And they're spending
more than they're making, and they're not learning anything as they're going, or even becoming their own individual to say, hey, if this doesn't work out, I don't mind doing XYZ to get back into where I need to be. No, everyone. And
even though I'm a Jew, all them Jewish lawyers are sitting there rubbing their hands together.
Exactly, like, oh, fuck it up. I need that money, baby. Fuck it up.
I will see you in fucking bail. I made bail for you. It's gonna cost you 300,000.
That's the truth, because they making a ticket off of that, man.
They really are. People are sitting the bar exam just for that reason.
Exactly. They're like, let's hurry up. Let's hurry up. I
Excellent. Excellent. Right. Have you got any plans for a show coming up to the new year, or are you going to just like see it through peacefully? In your,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do peaceful anyway. So are you going to do? No.
So, I mean, strong letting them know. But I'm trying to get this show lined up with Max on January 22nd, which would be really dope. That'd be the first month of the year.
I voted for you, by the way.
Yeah, I thank you. I appreciate it. I got to get more votes. If not that show, I definitely have a bunch of people that have reached out to me during these last couple of months, letting me know about events and opportunities that they have lined up. So that's part of my focus in everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to, if not start performing by January, I want to say latest March is when I'm really going to tap in and start hitting up venues. And I live in New York, so it's a simple train ride for me to head down into Manhattan, go on my phone.
You got everywhere. You got the 5 boroughs, really, haven't you? Just sitting there, train journey away.
Exactly. So I could literally sit down on any given day, go on my phone, see who's doing an open mic. I have a good rapport and relationship with certain venues in Manhattan already. So I can just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm looking to line up a performance in this month around this time. Let me know where I can get in, where I could fit in type situation. So like I said,
anything on the back burner with Len? Just for you two to go do his track.
And him, he's been Lynn, and shout out to Lynn, man.
He's has been busy dude, isn't he?
He has been working his ass off this last year.
I'm asking you, is he a kid? Is he just a kid still, right?
No, look here. He's the youngest one out of us, but that's a grown man. And he moves sometimes with an age mentality that be double mine. So I could never call him a young man. You know, if I'm busting his chops, I would say, I
saw someone write about him on my page. They wrote, Len, you need to go and do your homework. And I thought,
they be busting his chops. You know, Lynn is this, he can be this mysterious figure to some people if they don't know. So some people who don't know his age, for the next 10 years, they can believe that man is still in college, high school, because he's so connected to every demographic, and he knows so many of the locals, and he's got his feet connected to the street. So when somebody looks at him, they see so many sides, and they're like, oh, but you were doing this around there and you were with this person. So
yeah, that's how I feel about the kid. Yeah,
he's far from a kid, he's far from a young man. No, he's grown, he's doing his thing, and for one of the youngest people I know, he's in charge, man.
Remember the last video that he just released where you saw the cat going and actually dancing and moving the knee?
Yeah.
Wow. How did he come up with that? Do you know? How did he spot that piece of that video and go, I know, you've got to work with that?
And I'm gonna be real with you. Only Lynn can tell you. He has the mind of one very anomaly individual, and I love him for it. He sees things that I don't see, Marv don't see, and we've had these conversations, and watching him putting it all into fruition and bringing it to reality is phenomenal. It really is, because nobody thinks like this guy, and it's clear.
You need to go on stage, the 3 of you together. You really do. You need to tour.
Yeah,
you need to tour.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you've got an audience there that would listen to. I mean, I'm not saying that Marv should stand there with his violin initially or anything like that. I mean, there's so many different elements he could bring in. But once that dude walks out with that violin and begins to play, that brings a whole different element into this game. And that's unique. I've not seen that before. And I've been about. I've never seen two. If you had two MCs on stage and dude walks on stage playing a violin and 2 guys, I'd be like,
what is going on? Every time
it blow me away. I think you got something very special.
In a package that is rock people on their feet. We definitely need to link back up. With Marv moving and, Kalin, sourcing the areas, it took some time away from us. Marv just had a baby not too long ago. Shout out to Baby Zen and Kessia, a lovely, lovely family. So he's doing his thing with becoming a father and everything like that. But I know we're an unstoppable force. I don't worry myself too much if we get a little spread apart. Okay. But we definitely come back to the oneness, because it is such a unique trio that can go places that I can't even imagine. I know that for a fact.
let's talk about Gawdly. Let's talk about your clothing range. How did this come about, and who's actually behind the design of the garment? Full stop. Is that something that you're doing from blueprint to output?
Yeah, I see everything. I see everything through from A to Z. Godly started with an idea, a pen and paper, to be honest with you. I
Okay.
was sitting there working on my music, just looking for ways to, better myself as an artist. I've always had this concept and motto that I want to stick by is never be one dimensional. So I always knew that I wanted to do something more than rap. I wanted to take what I'm doing and branch out into my other skills and niche. Like I've always wanted to do clothing. That was what I wanted to go to college for. It's just too fucking much money. It's really expensive.
I'm like you. I mean, I must admit, I'm heavily into my clothing. I do my own designs that are going to go on t-shirts, on hats, and on. But it's just getting around to doing it, and I keep on at this. I'll shout her out, a girl called Jodie Thompson, who owns Surreal McCoy Clothing, and I keep banging on saying, look, whatever you're doing, leave that behind. Listen to what I've even tagged her into some of yours. I said, listen to what this guy has got to say, because you're going to learn something valuable in this. And I don't know whether she's watched yet. I do not know, but I will make sure that she sits down and sees this, because I believe that that is where it's okay making clothes and saying so and so, I will clean your house, or I'm a cleaning firm. That's all well and good. That's your bread and butter. But have your own clothing label with your own.
Yes, you have to, especially in this day and age. Like I tell everybody, at least give it a try, take a shot.
Yeah.
With the opportunities presented to us with technology and, the internet and things like that, it's really hard to not find somewhere to be your own and make some money. Like you really have to go out of your way to kind of mess that up. It's a lot of footwork. It's a lot of paperwork, but it is what it is. That comes with anything that you want to do.
Are you a registered LLC?
Yeah, I actually took care of that this year. Working on.
Well done.
Trademarks, everything. And by the end of 2022, I want to have a couple of people on payroll for employees and start going from there. I definitely want to get a Gawdly store, so that way I can put in my merch, have Lynn bring in his merch, and really have that be a home base for everything that we do.
It worked for Nipsey Hussle on Slauson Avenue, didn't it?
See what I'm saying?
Nip did it with his clothing range. He shopped there, marathon clothing. So it's been proven to work.
That is a beautiful blueprint, and that's a prime example of the type of entity and individual I want to be. Just provide ample opportunity for myself to grow, but there's so much room to put other people in position to win. Even if Gawdly can't be the number one seller in the store, the fact that I have a location and I can give Lynn a spot, I can give Marv a spot, I can give another local person that's putting together garments or designs a spot. It just helps everybody eat. It just helps everybody eat. But Gawdly started from an idea, a pen and paper, and me just wanting to do more outside of music.
Well, I'm asking, are you a religious person?
No, not so much anymore. Definitely more of a spiritual person. I follow my own gods and own entities, but not so much by, society standards and, the text.
Yeah, I mean, God for me is in my home. I do go to synagogue on high holidays and things like that, but I pray at home in the mornings and so on and so forth. But I don't feel the necessity to go and attend every single Saturday morning and sit there and I don't eat swine, that's for sure.
Okay.
So
I'll put you on there.
So
I'm not down with mine. No pork on my fork. That's true.
So I think it begins at home. And I think really your message itself, Gawdly, I think there is something in there that means there's a higher power somewhere that's helping you along here, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And that's the energy I want everybody to resonate with. Because I get that question. Everyone asks me like, oh, does this pertain to any particular religion, or, are you a God-fearing man, or you're Christian? And the answer that I give everybody, it took me a while to really find the proper response, but I realized I had to find that within myself to answer other people. But I have nothing against religion at all. I'm all for the positivity and the message of living a proper life. You know, I just don't follow it to the, you know, the deep literal text. Godly for me, godly for me is the ability to take complete control of your mind, body, and spirit, and just manifest all of these great possibilities into one, which is knowing that you are the one that is driving the boat. So it resonates with anybody who wants to elevate themselves mentally, physically, spiritually, and wants to see better for themselves outside of any constraints that society puts for them. So you are God. Never take no for an answer. If society puts a box in it, know that you are the God that can break them walls down and create whatever you want. So that's what God, that's what it is for me. And that's what I want people to feel when they put this on. You know, I am a God. I feel great. My energy is A1. Nobody can tell me shit type thing.
Have you got an album or a single that you'd like to plug before we wrap this up?
Yeah, man. I got a single that I plan on putting out at the beginning of this year. It's called Now You Know. I put out a couple of snippets. Shout out to Marv. He actually mixed and mastered it for me. So I'm very excited to have that out. It's a smooth, laid back track to get the year started. And then after that, I'm cracking y'all in the head with everything that I got. No holds bar. You're going to get a lot from me, from music to merchandise to visuals, photography, and a lot more networking and collaborations. I took a lot of time off this year to reserve.
Collaboration is what I was gonna ask you about. Any collaboration work that comes, please just involve me if you don't mind. And if you ever need to come back on here and speak with me and get a message out and get something out, honestly, never ever just go, Raf, G, whatever, can we do this? And we'll get this done, because I think it's really important to get people's message out. It means something to me to help you guys, for you guys to help me. Because it's not just one-sided. I mean, I'm doing this for my own personal benefits, to elevate my mental state, to elevate myself within myself and do something worthwhile. So
thank you, God.
One big shout out actually to Zonny30, someone personal to me. So thank you very much, Zonny30. I appreciate everything you do for me. So my brother, thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thank you, love.
Absolute
That's love.
Pleasure speaking to you. Bye-bye, my friend.
God, I'm see you
Take
soon,
care.
man.
Peace. I'm out. Bye-bye.